Parshas Haman. The reason why we have a Parshas Haman not is because people are involved in making a parnasa and making a living for their family, and that Hashem gave the klala to Adam that the person has to work extremely hard, the sweat of his brow. He has to break his back to be able to make a parnasa for his family. And one of the key ingredients of making a parnasa, we also have, though, Parshas Haman, in which the key to making a parnasa was a person as having emunah in a Kadosh Baruch Hu. That the whole entire Torah is to teach us one thing, that there is Hashem in the world, and Hashem is in control of the world, and everything is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And there's a Yetzer Hara that's constantly in the world that tries to deflate that idea, to put holes in that idea, that we should not, we should panic, we should give up hope, we should feel helpless, we should, lose our nerve. And the whole entire Torah that tells us that hang in there, baby. Hang in there. Hashem is taking care of everything. Hashem is in control of the world. Hashem can do anything in the world. It's Hashem's world. It's Hashem's rules. I just got to play by the rules. And one of the main rules on the planet is to have emunah in Hashem. That Hashem can take care of me. Hashem will take care of me. I don't have to do things to be taken care of. Hashem can take care of me. Hashem does not need my hishtadlis for Him to give me money. Hashem doesn't. The two things are two separate things. My hishtadlis and Hashem giving me money is two separate things. Hashem does not need my work to give me money. Hashem may hold back my parnasa, and until I do hishtadlis, because Hashem says if you do this hishtadlis, it's going to be good for your personality. It's going to be good for your character. You have to learn to be punctual. You have to learn how to be consistent. You have to learn to be polite to everybody who talks to you. You have to deal with an overbearing boss and demanding customers, and you have to be honest. And the possibility comes that you can make gain, which is illegal. So a person, Hashem will hold back the parnasa because He wants this hishtadlis. You need this hishtadlis for a person's own self-perfection. But the point is, Hashem does not need your hishtadlis to give you money. And so, but what Hashem does want, a major number one hishtadlis, is a mental hishtadlis of a person understanding that everything's from Hashem and Hashem is going to take care of me. And the whole, we say Parshas Haman is a segula for parnasa. If I say Parshas Haman every single day, so I'm being told that whatever I need for that day, Hashem's going to give to me. Why is that? Because Parshas Haman is a lesson in emunah. If I just say it and I don't pay attention to what I'm saying, I guess maybe it might help me a little bit. But if I'm saying Parshas Haman and I'm paying attention to the words and the ideas, I'm building inside myself emunah. Because I'm building inside myself emunah, I now have emunah. Because I have emunah, so then Hashem will reward me for that emunah by giving me the things that I need. I have emunah that Hashem's going to take care of me today. I know. You get to the end of the day and you say, wow, how do you like that? Hashem took care of me today. In the morning, I had doubts. What's going to happen? Now the end of the day. I got through the day. Hashem got me through the day. I was taken care of. Next morning, you wake up, a person's this fear, that fear. Hashem got me through the day yesterday. He'll get me through the day today. I've been on the planet for 55 years. Every single day, I got through the world. I got through it. Another day. Hashem's going to help me another day. A person has to understand, and so we learned Parshas Haman because there's a whole parsha of Amunah. And all the segulas that we have that for Parnasa is always segulas that deal with Amunah. Right? Because a person gets panicked, things don't happen exactly when. Hashem always does these things to us, which I have a surefire deal. This deal for sure is happening. It's as good as done, and then it doesn't come through. Yes? Until the point that a person gets used to the idea that nothing is for sure, even though I know 110% is for sure, it's not for sure. It's not for sure at all, because Hashem could say, you have emunah in yourself, you have emunah in this person who's promising you that He's going to come through for you. And Hashem says, if Hashem loves you, Hashem will pull the rug from underneath you so you can find a fall, and the person promised you and promised you and promised you and showed you all kinds of proof that He's coming through at His end of the deal, and it doesn't happen. So a person can say, I had emunah in this person, I have to have emunah in the Kadosh Baruch Hu and not in this person. The only thing that's sure is that Hashem is going to help me. And Hashem doesn't have to help me in this way. Hashem does not have to help me in this way that I think I'm going to be helped. Hashem can help me. Hashem can help me in a trillion different ways. He doesn't need to funnel me money through this person. There's no reason to be disappointed things didn't work out. I don't need this. Hashem does not need this person to give me money. Hashem give me money in a trillion different other ways, in ways I can't even imagine. So we learn the Parshas Aman because that's a lesson in Amunah. So Hashem says, V'yoma Hashem el Moshe. Hashem said to Moshe, Hineni, behold, mate lachem lechem in Shemayim. I'm going to rain down from you bread from the Shemayim. So a person has to understand that if a person drinks water but he doesn't eat any food, he can survive 25, 30 days. When people go on hunger strikes, they're in prison, they don't feel like being in prison anymore. So they go on a hunger strike, and they can last before they drop dead. I don't know how long, 28 days, 35 days without eating any food. But if a person goes 3 days without water, he's dead. Yes. So obviously, water.
If he eats without water?
A person, but even food itself has water in it. Yeah, food has moisture in it. Anyway, so, but the point is that the person, I don't know if he's eating just food and not drinking anything. A person needs, I don't know, I haven't thought of it. I think the food itself has. It's a good question, but
fruits and vegetables for sure.
For sure. But if a person eats, I don't know, meat or something, I don't know. He needs to have. Why don't he be able to swallow it? He won't have enough liquid to make the saliva to be able to get the food down. But the more important thing, obviously, is water. Yes. So a person says, "How is it possible? Then bread can come down from the Shemayim. How is it possible?" But the greater miracle is water coming down from the Shemayim. Yes, because like we just said. I need water more than I need food. I can go 35 days without eating any food. Yes, I can only go 3 days without water. So obviously, water is more necessary for me. So the bigger miracle is when rain comes down. So if Hashem can bring rain down, certainly He can bring bread down from the Shemayim. And when a person does bring rain down, he is bringing bread down anyway, because everything comes from the rain. If you see a person who's 31 years old, 32 years ago, he was rain. Because the rain, this is Rabbi Victor Miller said this, that the rain comes down and the rain grows the food, and the food is harvested and sent to the grocery stores, and the mother eats the food and the father eats the food, and the baby is produced from the rainwater. Yes, that we eat meat, and the cow ate grass, and the grass grew from the water. So when you see, and the most amazing thing is, and the same thing Victor Miller said this also, that when the rain that comes down is the same rain at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's the same rain. The rain comes down, there's water on the ground, the water evaporates, the water goes up as a gas up to the clouds and comes back down again. It's the same. Hashem's not making any new rain. It's the same rain that's coming down. It's a total, unbelievable nace. That the biggest tragedy on the planet is to be a scientist and a person doesn't believe in Hashem. Because if a person was a scientist and he goes into nature and he sees the most why does it happen? A scientist is like a librarian. You know, this happens like this. He puts a tag here, and this happens this. He just sees things that happen. This is what happens. So he sees what happens. He said, "This is what happens." But why should it happen? You have to ask the question: why should it happen? Why should it that there should be rain from the Shema, rain from cloud? It happens that the water comes down and the water evaporates and goes up to the clouds and the rain. But why does it happen? Who did it? Who put it into motion? Why should it happen? You can do this for every single of the trillions upon trillions upon trillions of miracles of Nisan that happen every single instant. And scientists and doctors can say it happens because of this, it happens because of this. But why should it happen? Why should it happen? Why should it happen when I was a little boy and it always would amaze me. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I go to the bathroom and I turn on the light and I couldn't see. And then after when my eyes got used to the light, I was able to see again. And then I go back into my dark room and I can't see again. And then, my eyes will dilate. They'll expand, they'll contract. And so a scientist says, your eyes expand, the eyes contract. Too much light, they get smaller. Not enough light, they get bigger. Okay, guy, Yashikana, thank you. Why should it happen? Why should it happen? Why should that happen? So they want to make a make-believe. Oh, it happened, I don't know, it happened by accident over 1,000,000,000 years, blah, blah. It's Hashem because Hashem loves us, and Hashem is taking care of us, and Hashem is giving to us constantly. There's always nisim and miracles. And so just because we have never, and the thing is that we still see this idea that we know bread coming down from the Shemayim, but rain comes down, and bigger things than bread come down from the Shemayim. The rain comes down, and watermelons come from the ground, and cantaloupe comes from the ground. The earth is this black, disgusting thing, and seeds are this tasteless thing, and there's colorless, and water is colorless. So you have the black, disgusting dirt, and the tasteless, white, little bitter seed, and clear water without any color, and it comes red strawberries. Where's the red? And it's the same thing, Rabbi Miller. Where did the red come from? Where's the color red come from? Where does the beautiful taste of the strawberries come from? Why should this happen? Why should there be strawberries? Why should there be strawberries? Even the theory of evolution cannot answer why there's strawberries on the planet.
Inside the orange is white.
Inside the orange peel, right? Let's say on the outside of the peel is orange, on the inside is white. Why is it on the inside white? Because it's not necessary. The purpose of the orange is to attract you, to pick it. Why are trees green and the orange is orange? So you should be able to see the orange. You know, when the orange is not ripe, it's green, so it blends in with the leaves. So you're not going to see it. You're not going to want to pick it. Why shouldn't you pick it? Because it's not ready to be picked yet. It's bitter. You can't eat it. It's so, if you grew up in Florida, so you know these things. I grew up in Florida, so I know that if you take one of those green oranges and first of all, it's so difficult to pull it off the branch. The more ripe that the fruit becomes, the easier it is to pull it off, because Hashem wants you to pull it off, because now it's time to eat it. But before it's ready to eat, it hangs on with such a tenacity that you have to hold the branch and hold the thing and then pull it. Maybe you might get it off. And then you want to peel it. It's impossible. That before the orange is ripe, it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult. The whole fruit is saying, will you please knock it off? I'm not ready for you to eat me yet. And then it tastes terrible. An unripe orange tastes terrible. And then when it's ready to be eaten, it's bright orange, and it says, pick me, come. And if you're too lazy, and right before it's going to start getting rotten, if you're too lazy to get up there, it's too high, you don't own a ladder, so the orange comes down to you. The orange will fall down from the tree, and it come down to you, and you can just take the orange. It's like, why does that happen? A scientist can say, all these different things I just said, and just say this happens here, but why should it happen? Why should it happen? Because there's a God who loves us, and He wants us to be happy, and He wants us to enjoy the world, and He wants us to love Him, and we have to have happiness. The orange itself, not only looks beautiful, and it smells beautiful, and it tastes delicious. Yes, it's also healthy for me. It's crazy. And the most beautiful thing is, and this is something that Rabbi Miller didn't say, this is my own chiddush here from Hashem, that the orange has so much tremendous juice. Tremendous juice. What does Hashem do? All citrus fruits come in little envelopes. Yeah? There's little envelopes all the way around the fruit, because Hashem knows if you take a whole orange, it was just a ball of fruit juice, and you bit into it, you'd get the juice all over your beard, all over your clothes. It would just be a total mess. So Hashem says, okay, I'll make a little bite-sized packages, yes, and you take the little envelope of juice and you pop it into your mouth, instant happiness. Thank you. It's not true of an apple. It's not true of a peach, because they have juice in them, obviously, but the juice is not so much that I'm going to be a mess if I take a bite out of it. Yes, but the orange, the grapefruit, and the orange, and the tangelo, and the tangerine, and the blood oranges, all the different citrus, are little envelopes of goodness that I can just pop into my mouth because it's so juicy. So why should that be? Why should that be? Because there is a God who loves us, and He wants us to be happy, and He wants us to see that He's here, and He does everything that we should say, who is the one who is doing all these wonderful things for me? Let me thank Him, let me thank Hashem, and let me serve Him, because everything in the world comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the same thing that we have by the man. So the man it's a bigger miracle. It's a bigger miracle that there should be oranges that grow on an orange tree, that the Hashem should, for a period of time, rain down bread from the Shemayim. It's a bigger miracle. But why don't we see it as a miracle? Because we're used to it. We see it all the time. Just because I see something all the time doesn't mean it's not a miracle. Everything on this planet is a miracle, is a nace. A nace, the word nace means a sign, a banner. That's the word nace means. It's a banner. It's a signal flag that says, I'm here. Hashem says, I'm here. I'm here. You know? So sometimes we always think that a nace means something that goes against the laws of nature. We call that, oh, that's a miracle. But we have to understand why there are even laws of nature. That in itself is a nace. That itself is a miracle. That itself is a miracle. Yes? That just because I'm used to it, just because it happens all the time, doesn't mean it's not unbelievable, stupendous. And if I think into it, we just thought a little bit about the orange. And everyone's smiling and everybody's happy because they realize, my gosh, how much Hashem loves me because of an orange. So Hashem went and brought down man min hashamayim. He rained down. Why did Hashem do this? It's because Hashem wanted the Jewish people to have as little distractions as possible, that they should be able to learn Hashem's Torah, because they were building the foundation for the Jewish people until Mashiach comes. And so they had to be able to learn about the ways of Hashem and the Torah and their obligations as being on this planet, undisturbed with as little distractions as possible. So there's other miracles that happened. That the fact that the clothes on their backs grew with them. Yes? Why did Hashem do that? Oh, how could clothes grow with a person? You could say that eventually someone else could invent something like that. Your clothes grow with you. As you grow up, your clothes grow with you. If a person can do it, certainly Hashem can do it. Why did Hashem do that? Because he doesn't want people to go to Macy's and waste time shopping. He wants them to learn Torah. The food is right in front drops down in front of their tent. He doesn't want them to go to the grocery store. If they drive the grocery, you have to find parking. You have to go and then you have to wait in line and pick out the food and bring it home and unpack it and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of time involved. Hashem doesn't want it. He wants us to use that time. He wanted them to use their time to learn Hashem's Torah.
Why couldn't Hashem bring Mashiach by Yetzias Mitzrayim?
Why didn't he?
Yeah. Why is he putting us through thousands of years of struggles?
Why is it that sometimes that something wonderful can happen in a person's life, and a person will have a taina? It's not enough he should praise Hashem, this wonderful thing happened. He has a taina. Hashem, why didn't you bring this earlier into my life?
Right.
Yeah, a person will say that. How come? Why didn't I get this earlier when I needed it? So the thing is that why does Hashem choose one moment to give us something good? So Hashem is waiting for the best possible moment when we're supposed to be getting something good. That many times if we get good things too early, this is what you just said is a whole question that opens up like a whole big thing now. Because before I got married, the biggest thing I wanted to do was to get married. Yes? Before I got married, I wanted to get married, but Hashem didn't bring me a wife. The moment I wanted to have a wife, Hashem didn't bring me a wife.
Right.
I had to wait, a period of time. So, but why is it? Because I wasn't ready. That I give you a wife too soon, and you're going to blow it. You're going to end up getting divorced because you're not good enough. Why is it? Really, the answer. So you have to understand that Hashem knows, and you just have to keep on working on yourself. Hashem does everything in the world for the good. Yes. Everything in your life is for... This is why I thought, when I wasn't married, I really wanted to get married. I wasn't married, and I was thinking, the reason I'm not married because the best thing for me is not to be married. When I answer your question, I'm right in the middle of answering your question. That's just the first half of the question. That the reason why I'm not married now, because if it was the best thing for me was to be married, I would be married. So obviously the best thing for me is not to be married, but I want to be married. So what do I have to do? I have to change myself. I have to do tshuva. I have to change my ways until the best thing for me is that I should get married, and then I'll get married. The person is poor, and he wants to be wealthy. So he has to understand the best thing for you is to be poor. Because if the best thing for you is to be wealthy, you would be wealthy. But I really want to be wealthy. Okay, get busy, do tshuva, work on yourself, work on your emunah, work on your sinas. Now you shouldn't have sinas chinam. Work on your gaiva, work on all the things you have to work on. Work on being honest and being honest and so on and so forth, and doing all the things that you're supposed to do, whatever tshuva you can do. So the best thing for you is that you should be wealthy. Yes, that person has to change himself. How do you know? No one knows anything. But that's why we have a emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that now this thing is in my life. The same thing the same thing came by Yetzias Mitzrayim, that it says that, not Yetzias, when it came to Matan Torah, that on the 50th day, the time came that now Hashem, they were going to get the Torah. The whole entire time they were in the Midbar, they knew they were in the Midbar because they were supposed to come to get the Torah. Right? And then finally, Rashi says, now they're going to get the Torah because ish echad kelev echad. Every single person, it was like one united person. And Rashi says, they no longer had any complaints against Hashem, and they had no longer hatred against each other. Up until that point, there constantly was complaints against the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and machloikis with other people. But when they finally got to a moment in which no complaints against Hashem and no machloikis with other Jewish people, then I can give you. So people say, well, why didn't Hashem give us the Torah earlier? Because we were not on a high enough level to be able to get the Torah. And this tells a very, very important point, that Hashem does not give us things good for ourselves only when we're at the best. What I'm saying is, Hashem's not going to give you something good if you're hopeless, helpless, full of despair, despondency, depressed, bitter, angry, frustrated, and have tightness against Hashem. Hashem's not going to give you anything good because He's rewarding you for your bad midos. Yes, if you have a child, and you want to give, so many times I would want to give things to my children, but the children would show bad midos, and I would say to them, you're making it difficult for me to give this to you, because you have bad midos, so I'm going to be rewarding you for your bad midos. So Hashem says Hashem cannot give us things if we're acting in a way which is not befitting a way a Jew should act, because then I'm going to be rewarding you for your bad midos. So if a person wants something good, he has to be the best that he is, and then Hashem gives good. When a person is optimistic, a person has a moon in the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and he's doing all of his hashtalas he has to do, and he's diving with a minion, he's doing all the things, and he's pushing himself better and better and better, and he's up, and he loves Hashem, and Hashem, whatever you do for me, Hashem, is good. Whatever it is, Hashem, I'm with you, Hashem, no matter what happens. So Hashem says, this person's on top of his game, this person is showing mamish, he's overcoming his Yetzer Hara, he's progressing, so on and so forth. Now is the time to give him the good thing. Now is the time to give him that which he wants. Yes, a person, Hashem, let's just look at a parent and a child. If the child is acting in a negative way, you're not going to give him good stuff. I want to wait till you're good. When you're good, I'll give to you. I'm not going to give to you when you're being cantankerous. Yes? So why is Hashem not giving us Mashiach now? Yes, you see us Mitzrayim, so on and so forth. Why right now Mashiach didn't get? Mashiach didn't come in the time of the Vilna Gaon. Mashiach didn't come in the time of Rabbi Kiva Eger. Hashem didn't come during the time of the Chavetz Chaim. Mashiach didn't come. Hashem did not bring Mashiach. So that means that we're not ready yet.
The generations are just getting worse and worse.
But the point is like this: as the generations get less and less, so the point is that Hashem is judging us on our level, and even though we may be getting less and less, we still are being tested to the max. Right? Vilna Gaon was tested to the max. The Vilna Gaon is a far higher level than all of us, and he was tested to the max. And I'm on a far lower level, and I'm being tested to the max. If the Vilna Gaon passes his test and I pass my test, it's both equal, because he's being tested to his maximum, I'm being tested to my maximum. If I'm able to pass the test, and the Vilna Gaon passes the test, so it's two equal things. So even though we're not on the level of previous generations, and still Hashem is testing us to the max. And if I overcome and I beat back the Yetzer Hara, I outwit the Yetzer Hara, then I go and I pass the test that Hashem wants me to pass. So then So that is a tremendous thing. That's a tremendous accomplishment. And Hashem really wants from us emunah, and it doesn't matter really what level you're on. Emunah is emunah. Emunah means steadfast, that I understand that everything is from Hashem, everything's for my good, that the Torah is the truth and everything else is false. Yes? That's one of the things people always say. They always say, how do we know that we're telling the truth and they're not telling the truth and they're not telling the truth? So you have to go big. The thing is, we have to understand that only our Torah is the truth and that Hashem is trustworthy and Hashem repays generously. And then I have to understand, and then no matter where you are wherever you are, whatever generation, that's the test. The test is of Emunah. When we pass the test of Emunah, that we understand that everything's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu and nothing is from people, and I live my life in that way, then the Mashiach, then Hashem will bring the Mashiach. A lot of the problems that we do, a lot of the affairs that we do, is because we don't really believe in Hashem. Okay? And that's the end of our first lesson on Parshas Haman.